it's time to farm the TBATE drama. Now, the video here says it ended before it even began, and the thumbnail says it's just fucking trash, which I don't agree with. I went into episode 1 completely open-minded. I've also been one of the many people that's been watching the trailers and dooming, saying, haha, it's the end before the beginning. I thought episode 1 was perfectly fine as a mid isekai, right? One of those junk food isekais that shows up every season. You watch it and you're like, it was an enjoyable experience. Like a 7 out of 10. This is not a Re:Zero or Mushoku Tensei quality, far from it. And it should be that quality. But to call the actual anime trash, I don't think is right. It's just like average. It's like mediocre average. Like a step above mid.
What if I told you that this was the best animated moment from the entire episode of It Ended Before It Even Began?
I feel like the moment when they were showing the differences between the Conjurers and the Augmenters were probably better animated, but pretty much the same shit.
Because, this is, quite an atrocity. Like, it was,
We're reaching Tower of God Season 2 levels of disappointments, yes?
Let's just get right into this. So, basically, the beginning after the end is a series that has always had a lot of allegations, so to speak. For instance, being a carbon copy of Mushoku Tensei. You can already see just from this alone, you see some similarities, but
oh my god, what's the similarities, bro? There's a dad and a mom, and a kid that got isekai as a baby. Bro. You could say that about any fucking show. Even Misfit and Demon King Academy, just give it right there. It's not an isekai, right? But like, already there. You got fucking Anos as a baby, and you got a mom and a dad. Okay, so when you have a mom and a dad and a baby in the end, then it's Mushoku Tensei, huh?
Obviously, just because you have 2 parents and a kid doesn't necessarily mean it's Mushoku Tensei.
Obviously.
But literally how it starts is, I'm not joking, it's basically a reenactment of the first episode of Mushoku Tensei when Rudy gets reincarnated, and you see his POV perspective of his parents. But in this episode, it's the exact same thing, but just, like, animated worse and drawn worse. The art style feels...
Objectively true. There is no way anyone could possibly say TBATE is better animated than Mushoku Tensei. That's just fundamentally wrong, right? Physically, laws of physics will dictate that that's not true. The story, though, for me, again, that episode was very enjoyable. I really appreciated the King's commentary as an old not a senile man, like an old man, basically talking from the perspective of a baby saying, ah, shit, I made a poopy, itchy. Or like even the power system, very simple, Conjurers, Augmenters, kind of explaining that. It's like, all right, cool. There's like the concept of Ki and Monocore. All right. The animation garbage, mediocre, but still the emotional tones of the kid, again, the cold king who basically never experienced parental love, realizing what that is, was very wholesome. A little bit of aura farming with like fucking Capcut's Blue Lock Season 2 effect happening, which was funny, but at the same time, enjoyable. This episode was enjoyable, not trash to me.
Feels very uninspired and flat. The animation, I'm just gonna be blunt, is not good. Even for like average standards of the 2020s, it is not good. Like this.
Nah, that's not I think that's not a touch take. That's just blatantly wrong. As a consumer of those average shitty like isekai and dungeon shows that we consume, like fucking like 20 separate of those every season, this I think is slightly better. Now, is that saying much? No. But there are plenty of anime that is exactly this dungeon fantasy, banished from the party, some isekai slop that has way, way, way inferior animation where everything is just a PowerPoint presentation. The art style also would just be ass. Like, to just name on the top of my head recently, like even last season, I think that TBATE is better than Great Alchemist. Genuinely. Great Alchemist, I think, has a better like art and the color compositing. But in terms of like actually animation, I think TBATE's better. In this season, how about that other show, right? The one with like Discount Bell Cranel, the Unaware Atelier Master. In the beginning, honestly, it showed kind of potential. It did, but to say that like this is one of the worst of the just those average shows, no. Again, if people went into this season not knowing anything about TBATE or the standard of expectations that's been placed because of the source material, I guarantee you most people would eat this shit up and say, you know what? Fun, mediocre anime, 7 out of 10. I enjoyed my time, move on. But again, because of the insanely high bar that's been placed, this is going to have the Sakamoto's Days experience where something will get so much harsher treatment and reviews because of the source material. But if you remove all of that, it's just good. It's just all right. 7 out of 10.
This would not really even be good in the 2010s. That's just, I'm going to be blunt with you. It is not a very good looking series. And the fact that it, like I said, has allegations of being a Mushoku Tensei clone is definitely not helping it. It's not helping it in any shape or
yeah, the comparison, right? You compare it to MT, like people are gonna have like you can people are probably fucking making tweets on Twitter already, right? I mean, they've been doing that shit since the trailers dropped. Of like, look at it, MT clone, look at that, and it's garbage on top of it, right? Now people are gonna be just eating that shit up.
Or form. Now, I do want to clarify a few things, okay? I have read the beginning after the end. I'm not caught up. I'm not gonna act like I am, but I have read it, and I have enjoyed the series. I don't think it is the best series of all time, but it is fun, and it is a good read. If you enjoy these type of series, you'll probably like it.
And I think that's why I enjoyed episode 1. The story, the plot is carrying the animation.
But the thing is that, the anime is not doing good for it. It's not. It is, I'm not gonna lie, a complete downgrade. Like, you would be better off just reading it.
Probably.
This is not a good way, I think, to truly get into this series. Because
unfortunately, I'm an anime reactor, so I gotta do what's gotta be done. I'm not reading any manga or source material. I gotta make content. It's all about the money at the end of the day, just gonna be honest with you guys.
I'm gonna be honest with you, this is about to become the clown show of anime 2025.
Probably. Yeah, everyone's gonna be dunking on this. They are gonna be slam dunking. If you thought that the slander for Sakamoto's Days was bad, I think TBATE is gonna just be running off with it.
Like, for at least for this season. For the new anime season, this is going to be everybody clowning on. Because it's bad, bro.
Even though, objectively, it's not the worst of the fantasy isekai show category, I don't think that TBATE is the worst out of them all. I would genuinely put Unaware Atelier Master beneath it already. But here's the thing. Do you think people are clowning and dunking on this based off of an objective, like quantifiable, like measure of like why it's bad? No. People hate on things because it's popular to hate on it, and people are clout chasing and farming negative engagement. Nobody knows what the fuck the Unaware Atelier Master is. Do you think people are gonna make threads about it? Because it's not going to get traction. It's a bunch of disingenuous people that sees an easy target and latches on it and paints this like narrative that this is the objectively worst show of the season, which just is not the case.
Bro, it's the fact that it has like every element working against it that would be used in an anime medium. For instance, anime in general, when you see a series get adapted, it's supposed to elevate the original source. It's supposed
Is that true? I thought the intention was to serve as an advertisement to make people want to go get the source material. I don't know if this is true or not. My opinion of anime has always been people just trying to, you know, bait people to go to the source material. It'd be nice though if the anime is, you know, an upgrade, but very rarely will people ever acknowledge that, right? Because people, usually the source material readers, are just complaining saying, oh my god, they didn't do a 1-to-1, you know, comparison adaptation. This is garbage, inferior.
Supposed to bring the series to life through the voice acting, the music, the songs, to just like the character acting, the expressions, the animation, the art. It's supposed to come as a giant hot pot, and it turns into a gourmet stew, like a meal, so to speak. Like, everybody loves it. And that is not what's happening here. Even those I think that is not critical and don't really care too much about art and animation, I think is going to look at this episode and be more or less in two different ways. They're either going to be like, it's okay. Like,
Yep, that's it. It's okay, I think, is how the average person should be feeling after watching this. I'm not talking to the terminally online people like us who are 5 layers deep into farming TBATE before the season actually aired. I'm talking about the average monkey that's just what's new of this new season. Oh, this anime kind of looks cool. Let me watch it. First episode, it's alright. I think that is the overall feeling I think that the general population is gonna have. And then there's obviously the super, right? Mentally ill, terminally online people like us that's gonna watch it and be like, garbage, Mushoku Tensei wannabe, trash.
Like, it's just like, that's what they're gonna think. It's okay, and they'll probably keep watching it because they're interested in the story.
Yep.
Or B, people are just going to drop it. They're just gonna straight up drop it. And
I think a lot of people could definitely drop this too. Even the average monkey I'm talking about, right? They could watch this and be like, nothing too special going on. Maybe it was enjoyable for them. Maybe the story just doesn't align with them and they just drop it. I think that's totally fair.
Oh man, it's kind of a sad situation, but it's also ironic because
the title?
Be honest with you, as someone that is an enjoyer of Mushoku Tensei and the beginning after the end, I have seen the fandoms fight, but I have definitely seen a lot of the fandom from the beginning after the end fans constantly attacking Mushoku Tensei.
I have no opinion about this. I have no knowledge of, which fandom instigating the others, right? This is very dangerous. Cause like, the most sweaty and the most like terminally online, mentally ill people on Twitter. Like maybe someone there is like a historian that's been documenting the war between the two fandoms, but like once you like make this kind of narrative, people are gonna run off with this script, man. I have no clue what happens, but I have seen a lot of people dunking on this show. I mean, I've already seen many people from the ReZero and the Mushoku Tensei fandoms fight each other all the time, right? Plenty of times, right? People are always mad because they engage in tribalism because they just can't comprehend that people can like more than one thing. Usually it's just a bunch of losers who's been bullied in the past, who basically seeks out a safe space in a big established community and then makes their entire personality that established community because they're absolute fucking losers that's never accomplished anything in their life. And because they've been bullied, they then act as like a gatekeeper and then bullies other people because they too are victims. I know I'm going into like a armchair psychologist rant about this, but I truly believe that this is the average mentality of those people on Twitter whose entire profile is just one show and then starts to basically talk about anything but their show. And only rage baits against other fandoms because they're just sad, miserable people, and they can't just like possibly understand, why are other people happy? I'm not happy. You shouldn't be happy.
I have seen that. Now, I'm not saying that Mushoku Tensei fans don't do the same, but I have definitely seen a lot of the beginning after the end fans go out of their way to slander Mushoku in any single way, saying their series is better, has a better MC, all that different type of stuff.
And now, the complete reversal will happen, and I don't really care. I'm not on Team Mushoku Tensei, I'm not on Team TBATE, I'm not on Team ReZero, I'm on Team Kaka TV. I'm here to just watch anime with my community and have fucking fun. And I will probably enjoy those crazy threads that will happen. The war between these fandoms, basically just a bunch of children rage baiting.
And, looks like any ammo that they theoretically could have is pretty much in the ground.
The battle is over. Again, the war is ended before it even started, right? Again, the title of this anime is so ironic.
6 feet under. Okay, it's buried already. Like, just put a tombstone right there. But, to make a long story short, it's not good. This is not a good anime by any.
Good is a very subjective term, right? A lot of people's good could be mid, and a lot of people's good could be great. To me, I think this was alright. I don't think that this is, again, the pinnacle of animation, nor do I think it was so bad that it's so atrocious. It's like a 7 out of 10. Like, for example, The Great Alchemist that aired last season, I rate that like 6 out of 10. Animation also isn't the only thing that matters in an anime, by the way. It's a big component to it. Absolutely, it is a huge, significant component to it, if not the most important. But sometimes when a story is so good, I'm so compelled by it that I'll just basically watch it and accept the mediocre animation. That's the direction I see TBATE going. So for those reasons, I kind of rate it like 7 out of 10. And I would put it in the good category. Not the mid, not great or peak. 7 out of 10, I think, is a very fair score for what I've seen in episode 1. And if you think that I'm out of touch for this, I think you are so biased. You are not open-minded. You went into this anime hating on it, didn't even give it a chance, and you're just rage baiting.
Any means. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. It's sad because if theoretically this got a good anime adaptation, this could have been probably one of the best shows of.
Absolutely, this could have been the season-defining show that I think is missing in spring 2025. There is not a single show that exists to lead, to be basically the trailblazer, right? Usually every season there is one show that is out there to carry. Last season I think was Solo Leveling, along with some like other, continuations like ReZero, for example, right? Before that I think it was Dan Da Dan, right? Everyone's talking about it. I know that there are quality shows that exist in spring 2025. Your Forma, for example, is a show that we watched just like a day ago, and it's like a very deep show about AI and like cyber police and I think that the quality of that anime is pretty good. It's a very interesting storytelling of like show don't tell, where you're constantly thinking of what's going on here. It's very thought provoking, but those kind of show are not massively appealing. That cannot ever be like a Dan Da Dan, right? Nor does it need to be. But I'm just saying spring 2025 does feel like something is missing. And right now, a bunch of kids are going out saying Takamine-san is like the anime of the season, which I think is so fucking sad. It's truly telling when just a Gooner show is your like lead. The season-defining show is about a girl that's threatening to label a guy a rapist if he doesn't pick up her panties. Just think about that for a second. Isn't that a sad reality?
Of 2025, at least from this anime season, it could have easily been like top 30. But the fact that it's done in such a uninspired, emotionless, and soulless.
Oh yeah, there is the Fire Force enjoyers. I'm usually talking about like brand new animes whenever I talk about seasonal animes, right? I know that there are sequels like Windbreaker. That's gonna be probably really popular. Fire Force, Apothecary Diaries for us. Thank God that's still here, even though the viewership is pretty dead. And even A-Rank Party, right? These are some sequels that I'm probably gonna enjoy more than some of the new shows, happening this season. We still haven't really seen, like, there's like other shows that I'm really excited for, like Moonrise, Lazarus. I think those two shows are not really gonna be that mainstream popular. There's also the Dark Healer one, right? There's also Paul Tensei, right? Unk fantasy show that we're gonna check out. Those could be pretty good. We'll have to see what the performance is really like. Devil May Cry also dropped an entire batch on Netflix side, but that's not really seasonal anime.
This way, I can't recommend this in good conscience. I really can't. And it's sad. It seems like only Soul Leveling is one of the series that's like a webcomic, like, or a webtoon turned into an anime that can actually do it justice. It's just crazy to me that it's just like, it's very clear if you look at the quality of a bunch of different like series that's popped off, you need to have obviously good art and animation.
Yeah.
But it's like doing bottom of the barrel stuff that just feels like still frame movement is not going to get people interested in your series.
True.
And there's enough evidence to support that people want these type of stories really well done. Mushoku Tensei is a very good example. ReZero, and hell, even Soul Leveling. And you can't say, oh, Soul Leveling just recently became popular. Soul Leveling was popular when Season 1 came out, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that
it's sad to see that there is so much potential for these Korean content. I know that this one is a bit different because the author is like living in America, I think, but still it is like, I think, published in Webtoon. Maybe I'm not really sure about that. But the point is, why are these Korean series getting shafted other than Solo Leveling? ORV, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, that better get the treatment it deserves, bro. Because there are so many webtoons that just like goes unmarketed or adapted so mediocre that it's just a waste of fucking time for everybody. You had all of the things that, could potentially be like a season-defining show, and this is the adaptation you're gonna give? What the fuck?
There is enough evidence to describe that turning a webtoon into an anime could be good. And
very
it could be
good.
very popular if done right. I just don't know why.
Like, look at Solo Leveling. The records that it's broken on the Crunchyroll statistics is insane. You can clearly tell that people love this shit. And I'm sure A1 Pictures is profiting like crazy along with the producers that was all on board of it, right? What a successful project. Why not do that shit with TBATE? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that I'm not completely aware of. And I don't think this is a fault that lies with Japan specifically. I've heard a lot of times that it's also the fault lies mostly within the Korean side where they're kind of just cheaping out and picking, you know, the necessary resources to produce this show.
Companies do this.
Yeah, Tower of God too. Tower of God got shafted so fucking bad. That's the other show, right? Season 2, I cannot believe what the fuck happened to it. People already complained about Season 1 quality, but honestly, Season 1 for me was an 8 out of 10 minimum. I genuinely believe that. Source material readers are going to cry and complain saying they rushed it, but to me as an anime only, Season 1 captured the essence of Tower of God. And I think Kevin Penkin's soundtrack, I think, really sold it for me too. God damn, I love that shit. And then Season 2 came out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I can't take this shit seriously.
I don't. Now, obviously, I don't blame the animators. I want to clarify that, because obviously...
I blame the animators. What do you mean you don't blame the animators? Well, is that an out-of-touch take? Why wouldn't you blame the animators? They're a bunch of talentless fucking mids. Am I wrong? No, straight up. Like, fuck the feelings. This is a job. Your job is to animate. And I'm sure you have been shafted, right? And let's think about this for a second. Blue Lock. The animators were not at fault at Blue Lock because the producer created an impossible schedule. And combine that with the lack of talent, you have PNG Lock. So yeah, it's not just the animators' fault. The animators are simply foot soldiers. And due to the lack of scheduling and clout to pull good animators into the project, you're going to have mediocre adaptations like this. Yeah.
Obviously, this most likely is not a high priority project for them, but still, just gotta say it. Keeping it real here. If you are interested in continuing to watch this, by all means, go for it. But if you're expecting something that's probably going to be cinema,
no,
you're probably not going to get it here. If you are interested in the story, however, just read it. Just read it. You'll.
Nah, I can't. I gotta cover the anime episode by episode. That's the nature of an anime reaction business, baby. I think that you should go read it. If you're obviously not doing content like me, you should go read it. That should be how you should, get this experience for time. I'll take the hit for you guys though, and we'll watch the anime. Do
yourself such a better favor, because if you read it and when you look at the anime, you'll instantly see just like how bad this looks. It's not good. But okay, I love you guys. Be safe.
And that's pretty much it. A very unfortunate reality for TBATE. Such a godlike source material being adapted so poorly. But it's not so poor that it's unwatchable. Again, episode 1, I genuinely had a lot of fun watching it. Was there a lot of animation mistakes happening during the episode? Absolutely. There's a lot of places where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? PNG log, what the fuck are these special effects, bro? Looking like something I just made out of my fucking smartphone with cap cuts, right? But I think that the story and the overall direction is good enough where I'm enjoying it a lot. I enjoyed it way more than I expected it to because I went in with an open mind, not trying to doom about it and cry about it. And that's pretty much the state of TBATE. I think that you could watch it, but you probably should just read it. Please go check out Chibi's channel. Here's a link to the video. Go give it a like and I'll see you next time.